Welcome back to Let's Play Madden 98. This is Super Bowl Sunday, the climax of the season. Dallas Cowboys defeated the Green Bay Packers to advance to the Super Bowl. That is not the right Super Bowl. Here we go. Alright, let us get to our Super Bowl. I'm going to back out. Alright, so playoffs. Continue. Playoff schedule. The Super Bowl is coming up. Let's look at the injuries. No injuries for the Cardinals. Well, that's not useful. Only teams in the game. The Patriots didn't make it. I'm not sure what is going on. Nate Newton, I don't believe. Oh, Nate Newton might not be on my roster or something for the playoffs. I'm not sure how that works. Let's look at what this says. Playoff rules, skill level. Let's make sure it's on all Madden. It's on Madden. That's good. This game's too easy for me, and I love football too much to play it on easy or even anything less than all impossible mode. I wish this had a third, even more difficult level setting. Maybe I just have to play humans next. Alright, playoff schedule. Cowboys, Colts, Super Bowl. This would be the fourth Super Bowl of the decade for the Cowboys if they win it. I think most of the United States probably thinks they will win it. I did some research to figure out how it is the Colts managed to make the Super Bowl. In 1998, tell me if you recognize these names. Marvin Harrison is their wide receiver, and Marshall Faulk is their running back. Marshall Faulk is a Hall of Famer, and Marvin Harrison might be a Hall of Famer. So that's their running back and quarterback, or running back and wide receiver situation. Their quarterback situation, I don't think it's so strong. I forget who that is, but my prediction is that Marshall Faulk and Marvin Harrison are great players, and they're potentially Hall of Fame players. Marshall Faulk is clearly a Hall of Fame player, but they were very early in their career in 1998. Marshall Faulk went to St. Louis, where he became the legend that he is. And Marvin Harrison hadn't yet met Peyton Manning. So I don't think they're actually as good as they became. However, their skill position players must have been good enough to get them to the Super Bowl somehow. It also goes to show how weak the AFC was seen as being. That Pittsburgh Steelers with Cordell Stewart, fresh out of the University of Colorado, could somehow drive them to the AFC title game is a little preposterous. All right. I guess it goes to show that Madden thought that the Steelers quarterback in their Super Bowl was so bad that Cordell Stewart with the same team could take them back to the Super Bowl. All right. Colts, Steelers. Now it's just the Colts and the Cowboys. This is actually a very classic matchup in Super Bowls. It's tragic. The Cowboys, I think, maybe lost this game to the Colts back in Super Bowl III. No, that's not quite right. Man, that's like Super Bowl III, yeah. No, Super Bowl III, the Jets won. In Super Bowl IV, I think Dallas was robbed of a victory. But boy, it was a brutish game. Craig Morton lost the Super Bowl. The next year, I think Roger Staubach replaced him, and the Cowboys finally won. Maybe it was a couple years later. Craig Morton got traded to Denver, and the Cowboys kept Roger Staubach, and eventually the Cowboys won the Super Bowl. But the Cowboys actually lost the Super Bowl to the Colts, so this is a revenge game. This one, we're doing it for Craig Morton, we're doing it for Bob Lilly, and we're doing it for the field goal kicker that I seem to remember being very disappointed in that game. That's just in the photo for some reason. All right, let's kick these guys' butts. Team matchups. I mean, the Cowboys should just blow them away by playing a very conservative game. is what this tells me. We have advantages in almost every category. Somehow their punter is God's punter. But that won't help them. Not against me. Actually, it will. So I have to be very mindful about punt returns. I don't know if they chose to kick or receive, but I have to change my punt return team now. Can't yet. I absolutely must change who my punt returner is, because it must be Deion Sanders. The other guy's terrible. A completely unreliable NFL player. I can't believe he's returning my kicks, my punts. Okay, so the Colts, again, they have Marshall Faulk and they have Marvin Harrison. So they have one really badass wide receiver and one really badass running back. Their quarterback's not so good. So I got to stop the downfield passes and I got to stop the running back. What they don't have are things like a second wide receiver. Their second wide receivers are not very good. And then their tight ends are not very good. So I could probably double their wideouts and really focus on what I do in the backfield to stop the running back. Man, Marshall Faulk is already playing out of his mind. Okay. So far, they've thrown it twice to Marshall Faulk, and he's done great things with it. I feel like I will call a strong safety blitz in this game. I'm looking forward to that. Darren Woodson is great when he blitzes. He really changes his direction and keeps his speed very well, which makes him a dangerous pass rusher. The change of direction and keeping your speed at the same time. So even though they are with 3 wide receivers, I am lining up with only 4 defensive backs. I'm going to take this defensive end and use him to help shield myself. Oh, wow. A beautiful play by the defensive player. It bounced off the Colts receiver and right into my linebacker's hands. And he had the good grip to hang on. That was not an easy interception. And I didn't play a role in that. That was pure computer. That's like the shortest run on a halfback wham I've had all year. Let's try it again. Let's see if that can work a little better. I really don't believe that even though it's the Super Bowl and Madden might be juicing the other team, I still believe I can run on them like I run on them. Like I run on every team. And by the way, it gets a lot easier to run when they're giving you 5 yards for offsides. Maybe I can try to get some offsides. It looks like maybe I'll have an ability to hard count these guys. I didn't realize that. I have to take a look at my player personnel. Alright, first off, I need to change my punt returner. My punt returner is so bad, he has almost cost me many games. So I have to change the punt. Alright, substitute. I want him to be Deion Sanders. There we go. Greatest punt returner ever. Except for maybe that guy, Devin Hester, up in Chicago. He's great, but Deion Sanders might be one of the greatest all-around football players of all time. A true shutdown cornerback. If you threw on him, you risked giving up a touchdown because he was such a gifted interception returner. And then on top of that, he was one of the long-time NFL record holders on punt returns. A dangerous all-around football player. A lot of people consider him debatably the best NFL football player of all time. There's a lot of great quarterbacks, but there's only one truly world-class cornerback. Oops, I think I accidentally hit B. All right. All right, so I think I got everything we need. Got his Deion Sanders. All right, so let's go back. And then on a global substitution level, I want to take a look at my guard situation. Right guard, I have Larry Allen. All right. Maybe I should. I was unwittingly running behind Nate Newton almost the whole season, and actually, this Greg Hegeman, he's delivered. He's been really terrific, replacing Nate Newton. I've run behind him against the Green Bay Packers. I was actually running away that entire game. I ran away from Reggie White because Reggie White was on the right-hand side, and in the end, Larry Allen just beat up Reggie White. Larry Allen, after this season, actually played left tackle, but then after that, he was left guard for the rest of his career. All right, who is my left tackle? So Williams is my right tackle. Where's my left tackle? Mark Tuinei. Heck yeah. Good to see Mark Tuinei. Good player. All right, so that offsides offset my the offsides I got the Colts with. What is that? A holding penalty? That was my left guard again. Man, 2 penalties in a row from the same guy. And I can't really replace him. It's not like the 4th string guard is going to be better. Alright, they're in a 3-4 for whatever dumb reason. 3-4 is... Well, that didn't work. Historically, I can run on a 3-4 with great effectiveness. But they're playing very well. I think it's a higher level because it's, you know, in the Madden game. All right, so look at all these guys following my receiver. There's 2 players on him. I'm clearly throwing it to the right-hand side of the field. Wow, they totally had that smothered. That could have been intercepted very easily. Cowboys fortunate to punt. All right. Punting is very important. Special teams. I believe special teams are 1/3 of the game. All right. 35-yard net. Not great. My punts haven't been great all year. If I had been able to tackle the dude with my first defender down the field, though, if I had tackled him. Oh, man.
Now that's concentration.
I really thought that my defensive players would break that up. There were a lot of dudes there. My feeling is that maybe I have to take control of the players in order to have any advantage at all. Otherwise, the computer's going to seemingly win every matchup. So that means I'm going to have to take control of defenders and make them tackle. Otherwise, the computer will have the tackles be shed. All right, we're really close, right? So let's go with 80 star crash. I actually blitzed right into where they ran it. That was fortuitous. They're in a normal, so I'm going to leave my cornerbacks in man coverage, and otherwise I am crashing the center. And their normal has 3 tight ends. What is that? Oh no! It's not a first down, is it? I don't understand. It's 4th and goal. I don't know what they're going to do. I'm going to do 81 Blaze in case they don't actually do a field goal.
And it's good.
Alright, this Colts team came ready to play and wanting to kick my butt very clearly. My offense really struggles when I have penalties, holding penalties, not being able to take advantage of offside penalties. Really hurts my team. My best bet to respond to get my player to get his head on straight and stop taking penalties is maybe to run right behind him and not give him opportunities to fuck up.
You'll remember that number.
Just run right behind him. That gives him a bull's job. I think that players, especially offensive linemen, even in video games, respond to that. When you're running right behind them, they know exactly what they're supposed to do. Alright. This time he's pulling. And that was a tough first down run. I am committed to running the ball, even with my backup guard in. Mark Tuinei is dominating his defensive end. I should run behind Mark Tuinei on the left. That said, let's just do it again. I should run behind Mark Tuinei on the left. It's time for a fullback run as a changeup. Man. So I've been running to the strong side. I mean, I've been running to the weak side. This is the weak side. There's no tight end. Here, this guy is an extra offensive player. That makes it the strong side, so this is the weak side. I've been running to the weak side a lot. I had good success. Oh no. Just want to run my play. Wow, way to shed blockers, Moose. Or shed tackles. He rode his block train. He shed the tackles in the backfield and then rode the blockers up for 20 yards. Terrific. However, I feel kind of claustrophobic against the left side of the field. I want to move it back to the right. And then I want to get back to this weak side runs on the left. So now the weak side is the right. Sometimes the linebackers switch. Oops. I should like pause the game so I can discuss it. Alright. I'm running the power weak. I am running to the left. I'm going to pull a guard from the middle of my offensive line, and he'll lead me to the left in addition to Moose Johnson. I want to do the halfback strong. Once again, my right guard will pull in this play. I don't want to wait too long. I feel like I have them on their heels and I want to press. There's actually a lot of defenders right where I'm running, but I am sending a lot of blockers. I think there was a holding. That's not good. My team struggles when there's a holding penalty. Alright, I want to do a halfback wham, but I want to do it on the left side. So the closest thing I can call from the I formation is the halfback strong, which I will run. This is another guard pulling run, but I feel like I have a strength advantage on the left side of the line. Mark Tuinei is kicking his defensive end's butt. This is some of the most freestyle running I've been doing, but largely because the Cowboys are running effectively a zone blocking scheme. That is, they're like successfully running out into space and finding people to block. They're doing a great job. As long as I kind of stay behind my blockers, I feel like my running backs are making huge yardage. Michael Irvin is going to be an extra blocker here on the right.
You'll remember that number.
I think that would have worked better if Emmitt Smith hadn't run into his own player and bounced around a little bit. All right, let's take the 2-minute warning. All right, ball is on the 29. It's decision time. I'm not good enough at kicking field goals. That's the main problem. I feel terribly, woefully inadequate at kicking field goals. So I'm going to call a fullback dive on the right behind Larry Allen. Let that linebacker, where is he going?
35. 30.
All right, just follow your blockers, Moose.
First down.
Follow your blockers. He went on 4th down. Follow the yellow brick road. It's been paved by Larry Allen. Larry Allen paved this road to the Super Bowl. All right, we're running low on time, so I can't just keep running my play clock down. Touchdown. That was a terrific run by Emmitt Smith. He cut horizontally to outrun the defender, and then he cut it upfield to get across the goal line. Outstanding blocking, and really, actually, outstanding zone blocking. It's like the players don't really seem to have a man chosen in advance. They just run out in their motion and then find a dude to hit.
And it's good.
It doesn't matter what the personnel of the defense is, and it doesn't matter whether they're lined up. The blockers run in the direction that they're assigned to run. So even though it's technically a man scheme that the Cowboys ran in the 90s, which would indicate that they had chosen in advance who they're going to block. Oh no, that was not the right kick. Even though in the 90s it was a man offensive blocking scheme, they actually, in this game, it acts as if it's a zone blocking scheme. These players have a region. They're moving towards a space, and then they find a guy to hit. So you got to run as if you're a zone running back. Oh, you got to be kidding me. That is ridiculous. I give up a touchdown like that. I gave up that terrible field goal, my special teams letting me down. And then wow, my fans have got to be stunned. I'm sure my team is like, man, again, we do something ridiculous. Most of the time, my team completely dominates the game, except for some fuck up at some point during the season. It's the Super Bowl, so I'm cussing more because I'm angry at my football squad. All right, let's go out there and let's take away that touchdown that they scored by scoring one of our own.
That number.
And I don't trust B. Davis running the ball at all. Let's see if they're ready for a deep pass already. They have one safety. They're blitzing a safety, it looks like. Wow, Michael. Go, dude.
Unbelievable.
Even I said, wow. Again, Michael Irvin. I needed a big play, and you're the playmaker. They are lined up to stuff my run. Let's see if they can actually deliver on the stuffing. They do not. Mark Tuinei, once again, just blew up his dude, and I followed Mark Tuinei for an easy touchdown. I don't want to call it easy because that would denigrate Emmitt Smith's awesome career. So Emmitt Smith chose the correct path with wisdom that only a great running back has to find the end zone. And that wise path is behind Mark Tuinei. All right. We gave up a touchdown in no time, but we scored one quickly. Now we cannot give up another touchdown. Much better kick coverage. Much better kickoff. I'm already in a prevent defense. Wow, 2 guys almost caught that ball before it was broken up. Pass interference. No, I went for the ball. I was making a play on the ball. Man, that is a huge chain. I mean, they got like 17 yards out of that. All right, they have lots of timeouts too. That's a drag. I didn't take control of the defender there. I wasn't sure what to do. I didn't want to cause another pass interference. I feel very fortunate that that was not caught.
Now that's concentration.
Yeah, I'll call that concentration. I think they'll kick a field goal now. Doesn't look like it. Let's go back to the prevent. Let's try to tackle them inbounds. The computer is notoriously bad, I found, at the end of the clock management. End of quarter management. End of half management, I should call it. Alright, 1-0. Don't tackle him too soon. That's right. Don't let that guy fall down. It is halftime of the Super Bowl. Cowboys are up 14-10. I am controlling the time of possession, but not as thoroughly as I controlled it against Green Bay. I want to get back to dominating the time of possession in the second half, and I'll see what I can do about that. Rushing yards, I'm already over. I'm at 98 rushing yards. They have 14, so I'm stopping their run pretty effectively. It's hard to imagine because Marshall Faulk has had big yardage, but I suppose that his big yardage is actually on passes, even though they're passes in the middle of the field that are almost like runs. I did have one 4th down conversion that was successful. That was Moose Johnson ran for 5 yards. I've had 2 kick returns. And no punt returns. Maybe the secret to winning this game or leading my opponent is to not have any punt returns. That's just kind of wild speculation. I don't know. Troy Aikman is 1 of 2 for 64 yards. That is efficiency. I don't know. Is Harbaugh hurt? I thought Harbaugh was their best player, actually, or maybe the reason that they made this game. Got to the Super Bowl. But this P. Justin guy was 6 of 10 for 138 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. All right. I'd like to think that someone awesome like Nano Smash, Day vs. Night, or Zenith played the Super Bowl halftime, and now we are ready for the second half. And the crowd goes nuts. It's a close game, evenly matched opponents. Cowboys receive the kickoff. Can Dallas run out the clock in 1 possession?
Oh, what a hit.
There's pretty much only one way to run out the clock in 1 possession, and that is to line up in the goal line offense and go 3 yards every play. Oh no! Well, Emmitt Smith recovered his own fumble. But I was saying that he needs to go 3 yards at a time, but clearly he gained 18 yards. Gaining 18 yards at a time is not how you run out the clock. I hate to be so facetious, but it's true. Alright, so that cornerback is with that wide receiver. Oh no, Emmett. I wish you had ran to the left. You had a lot of space over there. I am glad. I mean, I called that run play that I came back with after the fumble that Emmett recovered. I came back to Emmett really quickly, largely because I will always, after a fumble, and especially if the player recovers it, I want them to get their head back on straight, get them back in the game plan. But I have to focus on running my clock out. Alright, it's 3rd and 6. I have to have a real plan to convert this. And my real plan consists of having my optimal personnel, 2 wide receivers, 2 running backs, 1 tight end. I want to do something that definitely gets the ball towards Michael Irvin. He's running a comeback curl. In fact, most of my players are running comeback curls on this play. They're in a zone scheme. I'm going to use that to my advantage. Oh, that was not the comeback curl. That was improvised, maybe because I threw it too early. Okay, from where I am on the field, I think it's appropriate that I punt it. I can get it maybe in the 20, you know, I can get the punt to the 10-yard line, try to cover it. Oh no, that guy blocked my returner, and I just went for him instinctually. Alright, defense wins championships. I've been knocking the snot out of people so far. Let's do it. Alright, cover 3. What I like about it, Deion Sanders, Brock Marion, Kevin Smith run a kind of deep zone. Those guys are good at intercepting the ball. So if they throw, even though I only have 3 defensive backs deep, those are 3 really talented defensive backs. And they have a good chance of making some interceptions. So now I'm going to double the wide receivers, hopefully especially Marvin Harrison, who is terrific. You know, of course, you know, you could try lining Marvin Harrison up at slot instead of the normal wideout, and then I would have a much harder time doubling up. And, all right, so I forced a punt. Terrific defense. I think that was a 3 and out. Deion Sanders is my punt returner. All right. They're really prepared to stop the run, and they have multiple defenders where I'm running to, so I'm audibly into a pass. Irvin's pretty isolated over there. Oops. I thought I would slow down, but Michael Irvin's having a monster game in the Super Bowl. I saw that Irvin was so isolated, I just had to go to him. A hush falls over the crowd This is the normal NFC victory that we have grown to expect. So if the Cowboys win this game, we'll rewrite history. And this means that the AFC winning a Super Bowl was delayed by yet another year, at least. Oh, man. Marshall Faulk's a great player, but this Super Bowl, I'm sure he'd rather forget. Still, it must be phenomenal to win an AFC title. I don't want to take away these great accomplishments from people. Even though it's a video game people in this case. Wow. If you look at his speed, he looks like a fun player to play as. I would love to have... Oh no. Brock Marion is a very important safety. In fact, he's the second safety that's been injured on my roster. He's going to be replaced by my fourth string safety, which is really bad news. Alright, so I'm going to run a double the wideout defense, so that way my fourth string safety, who's suddenly on the field, is also paired up with a cornerback who's more talented. Hopefully Brock Marion comes out real soon, or comes back into the game. He's an incredibly valuable part of my defense. Now, Deion Sanders back on punt. You saw how he got 12 yards last time. This is a vast improvement over the last guy. This time he got 14 yards. Yeah, I don't know why I ever had that other dude returning punts. I mean, returning punts with Deion Sanders is like actually fun rather than torturous and arduous. Well, they know what I'm doing. They're set up to defend it, but they really don't seem to be able to stop me. So I'm going to keep going upfield with my running backs. Alright, I'm to a point in the game where I clearly have to run the clock out. So I'm not going to call any plays until there's 20 seconds left. I almost never call counters. I've come to think of counters as plays that bungle in the backfield. But an effectively run counter totally confounds the defense and results in a huge gain. So let's try it. Whoa. There was that safety who ran up, and that safety kind of caused Emmitt Smith to cut back to the right after he was going left. So I would say the safety for the Colts really saved that from being a huge play. That Colts blitzer got there, but he was a little too late and had to catch Moose Johnson from behind after he already got the first down. Two-back. This is a two-back shotgun formation. Don't often run from the shotgun, but I think maybe sometimes it confuses the defense. Someone's hurt.
What a hit!
I can only say I'm grateful it's not one of my own players. Alright, halfback off tackle. Everyone is cutting, I mean, all my offensive linemen will be blocking down to the left. Emmitt, according to the plan, is supposed to fit between the tight end and the right tackle. And they even brought an extra defensive player down. Actually, they didn't. That's the linebacker. He's just way shifted to the right. Stay behind the blockers.
You'll remember that number.
Alright, we're going to take this one to the 2-minute warning, unless I can draw a penalty. have this. That's why I ran for it. I just had to beat that one blitzer from the left side. I saw that one blitzer coming. I knew he'd be coming, and I knew I could beat him. And if I beat him, I would be able to make that first down. All right. Now I'm starting to run goal line offensive plays because I'm looking just to run the ball in a very obvious run situation. I'm not looking for big runs, just 3 yards a carry.
You'll remember that number.
2 yards, I don't even care. Let's just not get negative plays. Line it up in the I form. All right, fullback dive. Moose, are you up to it? I can't believe the Colts haven't called a timeout. I was able to draw them offsides with my sporadic hutting. I'll take that. Play clock stops though. That's kind of a drag. Alright, I'm going to run the fullback smash only because it's called fullback smash, like it's the Incredible Hulk. Moose, smash, smash. I don't see how it's a smash because my tight, I just lost the 5 yards I gained with that offsides I drew. And this is like the most boring series of plays that an audience ever suffered through. Halfback power. My offensive lineman will be trying to make a gaping hole between the tackle and the tight end. My skill players will be blocking wide. I'm just running the ball again to kind of, this time I want to center it. Oh, I can't believe I did a delay of game again. I'm talking too much. But I was going to try to center the ball so I can kick a field goal while running it so I can just run the clock. So I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to do the exact same thing I plan to do out of a different formation, though this time. So you see how he's in the center of the field? That works for me. 4th down, kick a field goal. This is a very short, makeable field goal. I'm a bad field goal kicker. I got everything I need with this.
And it's good.
All right, this is what I like. 2 touchdown lead, 1 minute and 9 seconds left. Seems like I'm going to find out if Brock Marion's hurt or not, because we'll see who my lead tackler is, number 28. I don't think that's Brock. I think that's Darren Woodson. Uh-oh. So Brock is still hurt, and Darren Woodson is playing on the wedge, on wedge breakup on kick return. Man, I just don't understand why they're in a formation that has a tight end and 2 tailbacks. They need to stretch the field vertically, and they're not even really going to do it. They're going to run the ball. They're out of timeouts. The clock's just going to run. I think they gave up is what they did. They didn't give up, huh? Alright, I've been wanting to blitz Darren Woodson, get a hit on the quarterback. I think this is the play to do it.
25, 25, 35. Oh, what a hit.
He's in bounds. Alright, Darren Woodson is blitzing again. Maybe this time he gets there. I'm running the same prevent I've been running against these guys late in the quarter, late in the halves. Offsides defense. And they declined it because that guy caught that miracle pass. It was Marshall Faulk. Of course he caught it. I'm doubling the whiteouts out of a nickel formation, a dime formation. That was an instance where I did take control of the safety and had him dive, and that allowed him to break up that pass. You know, a lot of times if you don't take control of the player, you won't get that advantage of being the human controlled. Sometimes just freaking out on your controller can actually help you, just because the computer gives an advantage to the controlled player, the human controlled player, that is. Incomplete, out of bounds. Wow. I thought that was a touchdown. I do not want to give that a touchdown late in the game. I would like for this to be an incomplete pass so I can take one last play in the victory formation. Oh no. There's not even enough time to, like, I mean, if they kick an onside kick, they're going to have no time on the clock. So the onside kick would run out the clock, I think. I don't know. It's time for an onside kick. I haven't had to face one of these in a while. During the regular season, it seemed like every game ended with an onside kick. And I suppose it's just how it goes that the Super Bowl ends with the same. Number 81, a very strong player to catch the ball on an onside kick. Alright, so let's take our victory formation. Kneel. They're going to call a timeout. And because I'm a douchebag, I'm going to score a touchdown on the last play, so that the scoring margin is much bigger. Well, I guess that wasn't going to work. They had a deep shell coverage for whatever reason. I won the Super Bowl. That was for revenge. Cowboys avenge Super Bowl III, 40 years later, beating the Colts. Jim Harbaugh, Marvin Harrison, Marshall Faulk, not good enough to overcome the Dallas Cowboys. I don't know who number 97 is, or number 12. That's pretty wild. 97 is now Jason Hatcher. Number 12, pretty sure wasn't on the roster back then. Alright, this is awesome. Let's hit start. I won the Super Bowl. Let's look at the game statistics. I had the time of possession advantage, 13 minutes. Not one of my more dominant time of possession games, but you can see by my rushing yardage that it was still a fairly accomplished ball control approach. They had a lot of good passing plays. They had 200 yards, 57 yards in penalties. That was probably almost all pass interference penalties. They had a lot of passing yards. Jim Harbaugh was able to get a few passes out of some significant quality. Troy Aikman, 3 of 6, 50%, 119 yards, 1 touchdown. Harbaugh wasn't even on the field. That's right. This P. Justin, who I have no idea who he is, 9 of 20, 45%, 201 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Marshall Faulk, best player really on the field for the Colts, was held to 9 attempts for 11 yards. He was mostly being held to no gains. He had a few long runs and then one big negative run that really ruined his average. 1.2 yards. Playing awesome defense is how you win in Madden. It doesn't matter what version of Madden you're in. Emmitt Smith, 21 attempts, 111 yards, 5.2 average. Long of 18, 2 touchdowns. He had a fumble, but he caught it. Thank you, Emmitt, for catching your own fumble. Moose Johnson has his really weird high average per carry, especially when Emmitt Smith is in the game. 5 attempts for Moose, 42 yards, an average of 8.4 yards a carry. 25 was his long. Moose unbelievably had the long carry in the game. So Michael Irvin had one of his classic Michael Irvin games. This season, it's really, the stat sheet has looked like this after most games. Michael Irvin, 2 receptions, 119 yards, 59.5 yards per catch, long of 64, 1 touchdown. Moose Johnson also had a reception of 4 yards, but none of the other wide receivers were able to really even get free against the Colts. I couldn't throw to my backup. I couldn't throw to the right side of the field even. I only threw it to Michael Irvin, and Michael Irvin was the only player that was able to make plays catching the ball. But it didn't matter because Emmitt Smith could carry the ball 21 times and have such a terrific game. Since it is the Super Bowl, let's take a look at who caught the ball for the Colts. Marshall Faulk was their go-to receiver. It's bad. I mean, it's good when your running back is awesome at catching the ball, but it's bad when he's your leading receiver. You need your wideouts to catch the ball for more yardage. And it was difficult for them to get the ball to Marvin Harrison. He had 1 reception. These other guys, Crockett and Dawkins, I'm not familiar with. Stablen, I'm not familiar with. And Digler, I'm not. Dilger, not the guy from Boogie Nights. Anyway, Marvin Harrison's long yardage catch was the most damaging play in the game against me. All right, let's take a look at the defensive stats since it's the Super Bowl. Tony Tolbert had 1 tackle. No one had any sacks. B. Thomas. I'm not even really remembering who B. Thomas is. He had 1 interception, though, and you kind of have to call it one of the really important plays in the game. It's a Super Bowl. It was a 21-14 win, I think. Oh, I don't know if it was 21-14 quite, but it was close enough that the interception, the 1 turnover in the game, has to be considered decisive. The Colts didn't get any sacks or interceptions, and their leading tackler was Morrison. Wasn't good enough. I mean, my running backs just ran all over them. Their defense really let their team down, didn't stop the run. I could throw it deep when I needed to. All right, so that is the culmination of the Super Bowl. That is the Dallas Cowboys 1998 football season as played in Madden 98. I hope you enjoyed this season of Madden and enjoyed my Super Bowl victory over the Colts. And so if there's like a draft or something like that, I'll record that. I don't think this version of Madden went so far as to have drafts and player acquisition. I don't think there's an off season. I guess I'll find out and I'll record it for you guys after this. But, you know, hooray for the Dallas Cowboys winning the Super Bowl over the Colts 24-17.